Oh my goodness, it's finally here. Auburn versus Baylor Friday night. Who wins?
You are Locked On College Crossover, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into a crossover edition of Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor. I'm Zach Blackerby, host of Locked On Auburn. He is Cam Stuart, host of Locked On Baylor. We made it. We made it, man. The last one of these that we'll do going into the season opener as the Auburn Tigers head to Waco to take on the Baylor Bears. Our picks, predictions, and more coming up. Who's healthy? Who's not? What do we think going into Friday's matchup? But I do think there's something interesting here where both of these fan bases are very one of these fan bases is overconfident. One of them, because it's
because technically one will be kind of correct
going into it.
Yeah.
One of them is wrong. And correct me if I'm wrong on this. I think Auburn's overconfidence is, okay, we finally got all this talent. It's taken 3 years under Hugh Freeze, solid recruiting classes, solid portal classes. Here we go. We can't be as bad as we have been because of this talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
I think you have to add the Big 12 thing in there too, by the way. They're in the Big 12.
Sure, Baylor's in the Big 12. How legitimate are those last 6 games, or the last however many games that they won?
That'll be part of it. Yep.
The Baylor side of it is we won those last few games, regardless of who they are. We won them.
Yep.
And Auburn hasn't been good the past 2 years. Which one of those cases is better objectively? Genuinely curious your thoughts.
The first part cut off.
Which one of those cases
is more
you think is more legitimate?
Yeah.
And why is it the Auburn side?
I do think it's the Baylor side.
Of course you do.
I do. I mean, first, it's my team every day on the Locked On Podcast Network, and I'm covering it. But also, it's like this is where it actually came through on Locked On Auburn, where the question was asked, Lindsay maybe, of why are the Baylor fans so confident? And I'm like, well, why are the Auburn fans so confident? Again, this is game one. We're not going off of what they did last week. We're going off of what they did last year and the year before. And that's just what we do, whether it's fair or not. And Auburn hasn't had a winning season.
All we have. It's all we have.
That's all we've got. So I think like just as like trying to take myself out of this and looking at this game, sure, Auburn's got the talent. But when I talk about week one, I think about continuity. I think about proven commodities. Baylor's got more proven commodities than Auburn does right now. It's just how it is.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Is that true, though? Yeah. What are those proven commodities that Baylor has more of than
quarterback, the way the offense played last year, effectiveness running the football, and who is coming back. Auburn certainly good.
So let's go through these one at a time, because you just said a lot of them real quickly. Yeah. Quarterback, I think Sawyer Robertson's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
The way the offense performed, you've agreed that against good defenses, the offense did not perform. And I think Auburn's defense, I mean, it ranked higher than a lot of the defenses that Baylor struggled against last year. Mm-hmm. And I think it's going to be better this year with what they've brought in and what they've done from a development standpoint. So, like, how valid is that?
Well, that's where I say, am I looking at a new quarterback coming in or a new play caller coming in, going up against that potential top 20 defense? I'm not. I'm looking at a quarterback from last year and a top 10 offensive coordinator from last year.
I mean, that's what
has
saying.
8 months to prepare for this game.
Yeah.
Top 10. I hear it all over the place. People are grabbing me on the street, telling me like 8, 9. I'm like, hey, if it's in the top 10, it's in the top 10.
It's top 10. Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What's the next thing that Auburn? I don't know, because anytime you praise, I think I'm giving Baylor more credit. They'll be like, yeah, Sawyer Robertson's good, great, sure,
yeah.
But then whenever you make a point for Baylor, and I think you can make the exact same point for Auburn, you just totally ignore it.
Like, sorry, what is the most recent
Auburn had a top 25 scoring defense last year.
Yes, and they do have a good defense.
They have a coordinator coming back, and those are the units that are playing against each other, right? It's not quarterback versus quarterback.
No, you're right.
It's Baylor's offense versus Auburn's defense. And statistically, Auburn's defense was better than Baylor's offense comparatively a year ago. Apples and oranges, you can only do so much, but I think you can make that case. And you're saying, oh, well, but Baylor's bringing stuff back. Like, well, yeah, Auburn's bringing back pretty much their entire defense. Like, why does that count on one side and not the other?
I didn't say Auburn's got a bad defense. I will not say that. I do think this is a good, maybe even, dare I say, elite defense on the Auburn side. But when I look at, you brought up the stat, and it's true. Sawyer's worst game last year was against maybe the best defense they played. Definitely the best defense they beat in Houston, where he threw 3 picks. But I will say they also played.
Houston is a powerhouse when it comes to defenses.
They had a really good defense.
You think of like defense, like elite defense, you're like Houston Cougars.
They had a real good defense last year, Zach. They were horrible offensively.
Like Georgia or Alabama or
I've never thought of those
you think
teams.
Houston.
Never
the
thought
Houston
of
Cougars.
You know who else I think of even more? Top 20 overall defense in college football last year? The Brigham Young Cougars.
Yeah.
Okay. And Baylor did not win that game. Hand up. Baylor did not win that game.
Sure.
But Sawyer threw 3 touchdowns.
How does Baylor do against mascots that are large cats? Large cat mascots.
Look, Scott Drew did not go to Kentucky, so that's a win over a large cat mascot.
Sure. That almost happened. That was the thing.
Almost happened. It wasn't even on the court, but Baylor did win that. Okay. So I'm counting that.
For 5 minutes, Bruce Pearl was kind of the name for Kentucky too, for like 5 minutes.
Heard of him.
Yeah. Take that, Kentucky. Take that.
So why are the Auburn fans who are confident? I've seen them on YouTube. They're confident. In fact, I had one guy, Zach. I had one guy in the comments on one of the episodes yesterday, the day before, that goes, he said something like, "I don't think people are saying this, but I'm coming here to tell you Auburn's going to win by 3 touchdowns." And I'm like, wow, a lot of people saying that.
Bold.
You come around here.
Bold.
Come around this YouTube space. A lot of people saying that. So why is that?
The idea of a close game seems so foreign in these YouTube chats, which kind of plays into why we're having this conversation. I think the biggest thing is what I said at the top of it. Like at every matchup, not position to position, because I think Baylor has a better quarterback right now. But as far as the matchups at play, so wide receiver versus DB, vice versa, O-line versus D-line, vice versa, whatever. On paper, talent, Auburn is better at pretty much every spot.
Okay.
So you can't just shrug that off.
I kind of do, man. Auburn's been more talented than a lot of teams they've played the last 2 years.
Which is the biggest than Cal about Auburn, for sure.
And so, and especially, I know I said this a bunch in our crossovers, but that especially comes into play when we're talking about week 1. Like talent alone just doesn't win you a game. And it hasn't won Auburn a lot of games.
Maybe. I think a lot of it has to do with, I think Auburn needs to do everything they can to make it physical. And if they do that, I think Auburn does control the game if that happens. But if Baylor's able to spread it out and it look more like a Big 12 matchup, like I do think that could be a problem. I don't think Auburn's defense will allow that to happen. And I think that's probably where the confidence is, because you just look at every layer of this, every layer of Auburn's defense that impacts the passing game, I think is a mismatch dramatically towards the Auburn Tigers. The offensive tackles that Baylor has, I don't think they can block Keldrick Falk and Kieran Crawford consistently. I just don't think that they can. And then when you talk about the DBs, like Auburn has a crew that I think is going to be as good as just about anybody in college football. When you talk about the tandem of Jay Crawford and Canley on the outside, and then they've got a lot of guys that play in the middle of the field that I think are really good. So to me, that's where the confidence comes from.
I understand where your confidence is coming from. I do.
Right.
Keldrick Falk might be the best defensive player Baylor plays this year. I already said Cam Coleman's probably going to be the best, at least not quarterback, but maybe the best overall offensive player they play.
He's good
all year.
Sure.
Those guys were there last year.
Sure.
It's sometimes it's not always that. And I like good continuity when it comes to week 1, Zach.
Yeah. Well, you said like they were there last year. Like the defense, Auburn's defense was statistically everything you could ask for in the situation that it was a year ago. It was the offense. Can the offense take that step forward? You've got a lot of returners and a nice combination of new guys. as well as guys who are coming back. And of course, one of the new guys is Jackson Arnold, and that's the biggest question mark in this entire matchup is Jackson Arnold. If I tell you Jackson Arnold plays good, you probably don't feel confident about Baylor. If I tell you Jackson Arnold plays bad, I don't feel confident about Auburn. Like, I think he's it. I think he's the key to all of this.
Yeah, if you tell me Jackson Arnold's going to get out of the pocket, he's going to have 95 yards on the ground, then yeah, I don't think Baylor's going to win the game.
Right.
But sure. I just think it's more likely that we see some early season jitters, some early season mistakes. And I hate to be that guy because this is attached to every football game ever played. But like the team that makes less mistakes is probably going to win, right? Like
here's my prediction.
Like every game against like
and then I want to jump into the health aspect because I think both teams are impacted by it. Whoever wins more points or whoever scores more points Friday, they're going to win. Agree or disagree?
This isn't a golf rule game that college football's rolling out.
Not. Who's like questionable
to get
this
people
weekend
to do the under? Yeah,
that's next right here on Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Upside. Cam Stewart, I love Upside. You love Upside.
Auburn fans definitely love Upside. That's for sure.
Sure. Are you still paying full price for gas, Cam Stewart?
Let's say for all intents and purposes, I am.
Well, you can stop leaving money behind and get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in your App Store or Google Play and start earning cash at the pump today. Use our promo code FOOTBALL. It's easy to remember. Football. You get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. And you can make up to $300 a year just by buying gas that you already need. Okay. All right. Sounds a little too good to be true, but it's not. It's true. It's true. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now. Use our code FOOTBALL for a limited 25 cents per gallon bonus. That's promo code FOOTBALL. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. Today's show also brought to you by our friends at Supply House. Can you imagine buying things you need anywhere other than with our friends at Supply House?
No way.
Sometimes I accidentally refer to it as Supply Home because I'm so comfortable there and it just feels right. They have over 280,000 plumbing, HVAC, and electrical items for the most trusted brands in the business. I'd say that's a lot.
It's a hefty amount for sure.
It sounds like the kind of place who has what you need when you need it with good service and at an affordable price.
I like all those things.
Yeah. Their real-time inventory and honest lead times keep you from punting projects, while their industry-leading customer service always has your blind side covered. Better left tackle in this game, just real quick, with a blind side reference. Better Xavier Chaplin? We agree on that?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess.
All right. Join the free Trade Master program today and score serious perks like priority shipping, lower prices, and a dedicated support line. Visit supplyhouse.com to sign up for free and use promo code SHCollege5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, promo code SHCollege5. Thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn, Locked On Baylor your first listen every single day. For all the folks who don't like me on the Baylor side of it, this might be the last time we do this until next year.
We might not talk for like a month. Full stop.
Maybe so.
Talk a lot. Well, we got the Patriots starting.
Depends who wins. We may just talk about the Pats. I don't know.
Maybe. Hopefully.
So there's chatter about Eric Singleton's knee.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't tell how much of it is smoke and how much of it is legitimate concern. What we do know is what Hugh told us at his presser earlier in the week. He was asked specifically about health and Eric Singleton, and he said that he's close to 100%. They expect him to go Friday. And then he moved on to Alex McPherson, who, when healthy, was one of the best kickers in college football. A healthy Alex McPherson is, I believe he's 20 for 21 all time, which is pretty good. It's pretty good.
It's not bad.
And so he's been battling a sickness, an illness, all last year. He kicked 2 field goals in the Kentucky game last year. And then it sounded like over the offseason he was recovering. And I don't know. It sounds like he's kind of been having a battle again over the last few weeks. So they're going to have a conversation Friday.
That's the day of the game.
Yep. And
That's
Free
crazy.
said he's going to talk to Alex, and we're going to see what happens.
And so this becomes obviously Eric Singleton is the biggest name to watch on that injury report for Auburn.
I think that's a little debatable, Cam. I'm not going to lie to you.
Then go ahead. Then who is it?
Well, I mean, I think it's McPherson.
Okay. And I was going to ask because of the special team struggles and the ups and downs.
Right. I mean, he was such a key, because I mean, historically, like Auburn's kind of taken for granted kicking for decades. I mean, we've always had a good kicker. So I think Auburn wins 2, maybe 3 more games last year if they have a kicker they can rely on. And I think the whole mood around the program is totally different. They went with a true freshman who was one of the top kickers in last year's class. His name's Towns Magoo, local kid.
Love that.
But he played like a freshman, and so it seems like he will be the guy if McPherson cannot go. But to act like that's not a factor, I think would be silly. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, no, it is.
I'm not saying that directly to you. I'm just saying that in general. Like we need Baylor folks need to be aware that like that is a major storyline going into Friday.
And it seems that whenever that becomes a bit of a storyline in college football, it plays out on the field, right? Like it just does. Like it's going to come down to a kick at the end of the game. What's Wes Byram up to these days?
I don't know. Probably like wearing his national championship gear all around. I don't know.
He's a freshman. Do you think he still has eligibility left? That was a long time ago, but these college football rules these days.
No, we've had lots of really good kickers since then.
Damn. I will say there's been one name on Baylor's injury report that's gone back and forth. Like it was kind of a long shot for him to play in this first game. He's now out. Dave Aranda used the term, I don't think he's going to make it, which is hilariously Dave Aranda. I'm hoping that Carl Williams will be alive during this game. But
what's the injury?
He said, I don't think he's going to make it. And that's a dude who was like your number one box safety. Like that's where he like the star position, which is Dave Aranda is now famous for, where, in coverage, certainly, but could do a lot of different things for you, especially in run support.
Scoot him close to the line if you need to, drop him back if you need to.
And in this game in particular, that's a big deal. Like that's a big deal. That might even be making up for some of the muscle that you might lose on the defensive line going up against Auburn's offensive line. He's not going to make it, Zach. I don't think he's going to make it. That's a hit.
What is his injury? Like, is there any chance he plays, or he's not going to make it?
He's not going to make it. Stage 4. No, I think it's a knee thing. He had it at the end of last year, and it knocked him out of some games. But I think that's what it is. Dave basically said, I don't think he's going to make it. Saw him getting worked on, is what he said. Saw him getting worked on, and it's not looking good. So is it like the best player on their defensive side? Probably not. But Gary Patterson said that was their best defensive back going into last season, and certainly the best defensive back against the run. So you take Rodney Harrison out of this game. That's a loss right there. Sure. A loss in terms of not having him out there. It doesn't mean they just lose automatically, but not yet.
But I mean, they've been practicing without him all.
Yes, that is
so they're used to him not being out there.
Correct. He's been in and out, mostly out, and the silver lining is that Baylor has schemed for that. I'll put it this way, Zach, 2 guys who would have been starters on this year's defense are not playing in this game. One of them was lost in the spring, and one of them was more or less lost also in the spring when he hadn't really recovered yet. So they have game planned for this for the better part of, all of fall camp. Let's put it that way. Devin Turner, the safety, was the end of spring ball. So all of fall camp, they've been game planning towards that, not having those 2 guys. Yeah.
So, that seems to be like less impactful if you are used to running things without them. So,
because this, I would say Eric Singleton
thing interesting is because like he's been fine.
Yeah.
But like there are some questions, like if he isn't able to go 100%, like he missed some of A-Day, like I think it was his hamstring back in the spring, and then there was like a stretch where like a lot of Auburn receivers were out, for like a few practices. It may have just been one practice where they all overlapped, but that's been a thing, like availability of pass catchers for Auburn. Like, and thank goodness they're deep there. I mean, I still think they're fine without Singleton, but you want them. You want them. Like, you got to assume in this NIL era, he was a top-rated player pretty much everywhere in the transfer portal. Like, you don't want that sitting on the sideline.
Yeah,
you know?
you'd like him on the field.
Yeah,
if you're Auburn, I'd say.
So
yeah.
we'll see. And how much of this is gamesmanship? Like you said, it's week one. Like the Hugh Freeze and the quarterback stuff. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say Hugh Freeze has already thrown out the gamesmanship. I've heard. It's
I mean,
smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. But like, if you're Baylor, if you're Dave Aranda, like, you've got to prepare for Eric Singleton regardless, right?
Yep.
Even if he's 100% or not, you still got to do that. You got to prepare for Coleman, Horatio Fields, Perry Thompson, Sam Turner. Like, Auburn's got a receiver room. And
Perry
there, I know it's
Malcolm.
been kind of a thing on social media. Like, Baylor's deeper at receiver, but I don't know.
Who started that?
Did you start that?
I mean, I said it on this show. I don't know if anyone was really saying it before. I mean, it's not the point of the top end talent. The top end talent in that room absolutely goes on.
Can I ask you another thing about the Baylor fan base in a second? Do you mind?
Sure.
All right. That's coming up right here on this crossover edition of Locked on Auburn and Locked on Baylor. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Can you imagine buying tickets anywhere else, Cam Stewart?
I haven't in so long, man. Seriously.
No, since they popped on, I've
Yeah.
downloaded the app, and it's the only ticketing app you need. And look, if you're doing what Game Time says and like wait to the last minute, Game Time's the way to do it. If you're in Waco, whether you're in Auburn and you're traveling to Waco, or you're in Waco and you decide you would rather go to a Baylor game than a high school football game, which I don't think is a thing in Texas, but whatever.
Well,
people love the high school football in Texas for sure. Download Game Time. What you see is what you pay. You can toggle all the where you're not blasted by fees, the all-in pricing, which I love. But all in all, you can take the guesswork out of buying college football tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, that is promo code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Swipe, tap, ticket, go. Download Game Time today. Before we get into our picks and predictions, which I think we all know what everybody's going to do here, the Baylor fans on the internet, confident for sure.
Yeah.
They're all anonymous. And they just have pictures. Like, there's no creativity whatsoever.
I don't
And like, we've got a lot of folks, like, we've talked about it before. Like, Auburn fans are objectively hilarious. They're objectively funny.
Yeah.
And like, one of our biggest Auburn accounts is like Pablo Escobarner, right?
Good
And
account.
the guy who's all in my DMs or not DMs, but in my mentions is just like Baylor Homer. Like, that's so boring. That's so boring and not creative. What's going on with that?
Okay. All right. So the critique is not that it's a bunch of burners. It's that it's just not creative enough is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Twitter. There's going to be burners and
I'll say, look,
people who are anonymous and all that, like that, whatever. But the lack of creativity, I think, is startling.
This might be working out the kinks a little bit, Zach. I love the Baylor burner verse, but I think everyone would say it's fairly new.
Interesting.
Within the last year or two is when the burner verse really got better. You got a lot of the people with faces who talked about Baylor started going to Blue Sky and such. And so the burners took over. And I'm just going to say that it's growing pains. It's growing pains. Yeah. There's a lot of,
so you're kind of seeing where I'm coming from.
No, I get you.
For growth.
I get you. And I feel that way a lot about, let's say, like comments and like in the comment section. Like, if you want to come in and talk crap in the comment section, I'm all about that. All I ask is let's get some humor to it. Right. Let's see something funny. You know what I mean? That's all I really care.
Let's have some fun.
So I definitely get your disposition here.
Okay.
For sure.
All right.
I think it's good content. Good burner content. I like Trigg's Trigger. That's a good one.
That's not bad, I guess. Michael Trigg.
Alliterative. Yeah. You remember him?
Former Ole Miss tight end.
Yeah. You're going to see a bit of him on Friday. I'll say that.
Okay. I liked him when he got to Ole Miss.
How could you not? Yeah.
Athletic.
Very athletic.
Can't block.
Has struggled with that. And I wonder if that'll hold him back in his NFL.
Depends how you use him. I mean, we kind of had that with a guy named Rivaldo Fairweather last year. Like, could block, but like you didn't really want him to, It kind of seems similar to me.
But the dude's a freak, Michael Trigg.
Sure.
He's a freak.
Yeah, for sure.
Just from a pass catching ability, there's no team in the country that's like, I'm good. I don't need Michael Trigg,
Right. Yeah,
but there's more in the game than that.
I get that. All right, let's do our picks and predictions. I'm going Auburn 27-17, a little bit lower scoring than what most people are predicting. But that's where I'm living right now.
I'm not that far off.
Okay.
I've stuck with it for a couple of days here, so subject to change before we kick off tomorrow night. I'm going to go Baylor 28-20.
Okay, we are close. We are close.
Maybe there's a miss PAT in there at 28-20.
That could be a big deal, and that could be something that if it's on the Auburn side of it, and if it's not Alex, we're like, oh no, we're doing this again. That'd be a thing.
Yeah.
That'd be a thing. I mean, obviously, as a human, like hopefully he's okay and does what he needs to do. He's been battling for a long time. I hate it for the kid. Cool. So I think it's going to be close for like 3.5 quarters, and then there's going to be a score that puts a team up double digits. That's kind of where I'm at on both sides of it.
Okay, I can see that because I think I'm kind of with you. The first
your score could reflect that too. I mean, I'm just kind of predicting like the timing of it, I guess.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be. I think there's going to be mistakes late, and I don't know if you know this, Zach, but usually the team that makes less mistakes is the one that's going to win the ball game.
How many total turnovers are in this game? Both teams combined.
3. I don't think it's a lot.
2 and 1.
It's a lot. Yep.
2 one team on the other.
Yep. And it's one of them's going to be crazy, just weird, batted ball.
Man, this game could do anything. I forgot who tweeted it, but it's like there's nothing that could happen again when Auburn goes to Waco that would surprise me. Shootout, blowout one way, final score being 50-51, final score being like 7-3. And I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of there with you. Like anything could happen Friday night. I think it's going to be something strange and bizarre that happens.
Probably, because that's college football, baby. And that's week 1. And that's 2 teams that don't face each other. So we are probably going to see something just bonkers.
Let's go.
I would say. And I'm in for it. I'm ready to just.
Is there any like drama with the YouTube TV stuff on the Baylor side of it? Has that gotten to y'all?
I mean, yeah, because obviously the game being
when this drops, that'll all be decided. We're recording this midday on Wednesday, so it's deciding a few hours after we record this. But that's been a larger talking point than it needs to be. But I totally get it.
It's becoming a college football tradition at this point.
You're right.
3 straight years, beginning of the season, where we've had this. Last year was a real mess. That was ESPN, Disney, and DirecTV. And I was thrown completely out of the loop for that because all of my things go through DirecTV. That was
last question.
Yeah.
Baylor's sides of this thought on RG3 calling the game.
I'm at an interesting point with this. I'm probably not where all Baylor fans are, but I would say we're all okay with it because RG3's done these games before, and he's not been like, glazing Baylor. Trust me on that one. Like he hasn't. It's not that he's been destroying them, but he has not glazed them. In fact, he loves glazing the team that is playing Baylor because that's how RG3 is. It's whatever. Typically, like just in a vacuum, Zach, I am old school. I'm one of those people that's like RG3 shouldn't be doing that game. Like I think back, like you've seen the 97 Rose Bowl national championship. Michigan is winning it. Brian Greasy is the winning quarterback, and his dad is doing the color, and he's crying on the air. Oh, it's a great moment for me. It's like, no, we shouldn't be doing that. Me, the objective, objective.
I'm with you. Yeah,
like we shouldn't be doing that. And there was a CFP game a couple of years ago where Kirk Herbstreit was doing the game, and it was Ohio State, his alma mater, against Clemson, the team his son played for. Like that, to me, and Kirk is great. He's the best we have in the game.
He's great. Yeah.
But it's like, it's a little weird, man. It's a little weird. So overall, I'm like, I would rather see someone who didn't go to one of these schools doing the color commentary. Or if you're going to do it, maybe throw in Cadillac Williams as the third guy. But I do think, I don't think it'll be RG3 bias. I really don't. I've seen him do plenty of these games before.
Okay. All right.
How do you feel?
All right.
You're a big J
I don't think I care. I like RG3 as a commentator, and I'm just kind of like suspending my trust that he won't glaze Baylor the whole time.
And we'll be in the heat of the moment too. So you will think that he'll probably be glazing Baylor.
Yeah, anything. Yeah.
I'm ready.
And Baylor might have this incredible play, and he'll be like, "Oh, that was a great play." I'm like, shut up, RG3.
Shut up. Of course you think.
Of course you think. Yeah, right.
Can't wait.
All right, man. This might be the last time we talk for a while. So
might be.
This has been a fun few weeks leading up to this. How can all the Auburn fans check out the Baylor coverage on your channel?
Locked On Baylor, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, at Locked On Baylor on X, at Real Cam Stewart on X, because sometimes I tweet stuff from Cam Stewart that's supposed to be Locked On Baylor. So you can catch both of those. And look, we're going to do a post game no matter what. So if it doesn't go my way, fans, you can have a fun shoulder to cry on that's crying.
Okay. Yeah. Same. Going live on Locked On Auburn as well. There'll be a lot of content this weekend, win or lose on the Auburn side. So please like our videos. Please subscribe to our channels, and we'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn and Locked On Baylor.
Sick 'em.